What's going on, the CYM family? It's your boy Kev, man. We here real late with it, man. Just got through watching the first round of the NBA draft, as I promised. Real late, but I'm still gonna do this NBA draft lottery reaction. Just gonna give you my quick take and thoughts on the draft as a whole. So, just gonna start right at the top. Edwards going to T Wolves. I'm a little bit confused when it comes to Anthony Edwards going to the Timberwolves. Malik Beasley was really putting on a show for them towards the last 15 games that he played. I think he was shooting high volume 3-point jumpers at a really high efficiency clip. So it confuses me a little bit as to why they would get Edwards. But honestly, just being in the position that they were to draft first, it doesn't confuse me that much because it's just like it's either Edwards, LaMelo, or Wiseman. Don't really see them going for Wiseman. LaMelo really doesn't fit there either, so it just makes sense to get Edwards. Still a lot of questions about Edwards and his character in terms of does he really want to win that badly, and will he be able to be a third option on this team? But I think if he buys into being the third option, there's a lot of chance for him to be very successful with this team. But we just have to see. Next, we have James Wiseman going to the Warriors. Wiseman, I'm not too high on Wiseman. I really like Onyekuru Konang way better than Wiseman. I feel like the tools that you can get from a Wiseman, you could get from for lack of better words, you can get it from a JaVale McGee. Just like a cheap center that you could get on the open market rather than investing all that money into a Wiseman. We'd have to see, if the outside jumper develops, if he's switchable, which is one of the biggest question marks when it comes to James Wiseman. Is the switchability out there on the court? Is he able to, switch on to a 1 or a 2 or a 3? Is he going to get burned? Does he have the lateral quickness to do so? And we just have to see. But the Warriors have a phenomenal developmental staff, so there should be some hope for him. I think he can develop to be a really good just rim runner, shot blocker. But other than that, you kind of want to know what else could he do, and that's what's scary about him, especially having him this high. And also, prayers go out to Klay Thompson. There's talks that he might have an Achilles injury. That's just horrible for the Warriors if that's the case. But moving forward to LaMelo Ball going to the Hornets. MJ really needed this. And more importantly, we finally get to see LeVar versus MJ in a 1v1 game. This has been hinted. This has been what we've been waiting for. This is what the fans want. But really, seriously speaking, LaMelo Ball going to the Hornets. The Hornets needed this, man. The Hornets need to sell tickets. The Hornets need people to tune into their games, man. The Hornets have just no one gives a damn about them, and I think they've had a pretty decent team. Devante Graham developed really well for them. PJ Washington had a pretty good season for them as well. But, there's just no hype, and no one gives a fuck about the Hornets, if we're being honest. But I think that LaMelo brings eyes and attention to that team. LaMelo's instantaneously going to get the keys to the offense. I'm just a little concerned for a backcourt of Devante Graham and LaMelo Ball. What the fuck are they going to defend? I don't know, but, Jordan's going to roll the ball out, give LaMelo the keys, tell him, hey, you run this franchise now. So we just got to see what's going to happen. I don't hate on LaMelo. There are noticeable flaws in his game, so I think it is good to have a Devante Graham guy who shoots the 3 ball at a very high clip on high efficiency. That's really good to have next to him. PJ Washington, who can also stretch the floor. So they just need people that can honestly stretch the floor alongside with him. Just let him run the just give him the keys and let him run the show, honestly, and just see what happens and just hope. Next we have Patrick Williams going to the Bulls. Did not see this coming, man. Patrick Williams, he was rumored to go to the Pistons. He was rumored to be around the 12 range, the 14 range. If you look on Tankathon, he's at the 28th spot, which is really confusing. Patrick Williams was on my top 5 for the Knicks to select. If you guys have not seen that video, you guys could scroll back just to see, how my brain works when it comes to this basketball stuff, especially when it pertains to my Knicks. But Patrick Williams going fourth, man. It's a you don't know, man. It's a bit confusing because these guys, they do have a Lauri Markkanen who kind of runs the four for them. So it's like, are we gonna choose Patrick Williams over Lauri Markkanen? They also have a Wendell Carter Jr. at the 5, so I don't really see them running a Patrick Williams at the 5. And quite honestly, I don't see Patrick Williams being a 3. So this is kind of a confusing pick for me. I was expecting them to go Denny Avdia. A lot of draft scouts were expecting them to go Denny Avdia, but they went with Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams is a good player though, man. I'm a bit confused to see how he shakes out in this rotation. He has the tools. He just needs to be developed. So we just got to see, man. We just got to see what they're going to do with him. Nextly, we have Okoro going to the Cavaliers. I think this is a really, a good fit pick for him. You don't know what they're going to do with guys like Colin Sexton. You don't know if they're going to put him at the 2 alongside Darius Garland for how long. They also have Kevin Porter Jr., who I think is one of their special players that they really, really need to put and slide to that 2. So from my expectations, I believe there's going to be a Darius Garland, Kevin Porter Jr., and then an Isaac Okoro at the 3, or I don't know if they choose to slide Isaac Okoro to the 4. Who knows what they're doing with Seti Osman. But Okoro gives them some much-needed defense. He has a lot of upside as well. I think that's why they drafted him. He's a good playmaker. He's a good defender. And more importantly, he's not on my Knicks. So there's no redundancy and lack of three-point shooting on my squad. But Okoro, man, he has a lot of tools. It's just he needs to develop that consistency with his jump shot. He really needs to also it's just a consistency with the jump shot, honestly. He's a decent passer. He's a freak athlete. He's a really good defender. It's really consistency with that jump shot. And you would just hope that the Cleveland Cavaliers could develop him, but you don't know what the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. You really don't know what those guys. But next up, we have Onyekuru Konang going to the Hawks. And this is why I wasn't too big on them trading to get I don't know why his name is eluding me right now. It's the center that they traded for. He was on the Rockets. Hold on, let me do my Google searching. Oh man, I don't remember his name for some reason, man. This what happens when you stay up this late and you're thinking off the cuffs. Capella. This is why I wasn't too crazy about them getting Capella. I felt like they could have, drafted a younger guy. And Onyekuru Konang, in my opinion, I feel like Onyekuru Konang has the tools to be one, if not the best center in this entire draft, in my opinion. Onyekuru Konang has a switchability. He definitely has a defensive potential. I think he has everything that you need for a defender. He has a switchability. He has the willingness to play defense, and he has a defensive awareness. I think at the 5, especially with a team like this, where you got guys who do not play defense for shit. You got Trae Young who don't play defense. You got John Collins who doesn't play defense. I think Onyekuru Konang was great. I don't know how much time Capella has left on his contract, but you would hope that Onyekuru Konang was going to get groomed to become the starting center of the future for the squad. And I really like this pick for them. This is probably, in terms of fit, this is probably the pick out of the last few that I've run through that I'd say this is my favorite for them, for sure. So next we have Killian Hayes going to the Pistons, man. Fuck the Pistons, bro. The Pistons, fuck them, bro. I think they got rid of their sharpshooter. They got rid of Luke Kennard, which is a bit confusing because Luke Kennard was a baller for them. I thought he was pretty nice. He was a good shooter. I think pairing Luke Kennard with Killian Hayes would have been nice, but they got Killian Hayes at the point. Also, a really good pickup for them, man. I mean, I hate it because I would love to have him on the Knicks, but at the same time, Killian Hayes is a really good pickup, man. He has potential to be the best lottery point guard. I think that he has a little bit more, I don't want to say upside, but he has a little bit more of a stable floor in comparison to a LaMelo Ball, even though LaMelo Ball is the more flashier, more exceptional player that you'd think that the fans would gravitate to more. I see a lot of stability in Killian Hayes' game, whether it be with his ability to create for others, his capabilities of playing defense. He just has the tools to truly make an impact, especially for this Pistons team that desperately needs just players, man. And he gets to link up with his boy Sekou, bro. He gets to link up with Sekou Billy, man. Link up with Sekou Demboya, man. So I'm definitely I'm happy for them, man. The Pistons deserve it, man. The Pistons fucking stink, man. Fucking stink, bro. You get him, you have Sekou Demboya. You also have a chance to re-sign Christian Wood. I'm a little bit confused as to why they would get rid of Kennard, but still, hey, man, they got something, man. They got something brewing up over there. They desperately need it, man. And next, going to talk about my Knicks, man. Knicks, we select Obi Toppin, man. And if you guys had seen my other review, talking about the top 5 targets for the Knicks, you guys know that I'm not the highest on Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin is he just has a lot of issues when it comes to defense. I just feel like he doesn't have the switchability. He doesn't have defensive awareness, and that doesn't really seem like he has the willingness to play defense. The only thing it seems that he could really do is become a shot blocker, and I do have questions about fit in terms of him, kind of being a tweener, not really much of a 4, not really much of a 5 either. And you would hope that Mitchell Robinson could make up for a lot of his mistakes, but Mitchell Robinson himself is really raw. And Mitchell Robinson just, in terms of staying on the court, which is another issue for him, will there be even enough time to have both of them when it's time in late game scenarios? Will you be able to run a small ball lineup? Is Mitch not going to be out there? Are you going to have Obi Toppin out there instead at the 5? There's just a lot of questions in terms of that fit. But at the same time, I got to be honest and say that, hey, fresh out the gate, Obi Toppin is probably the best scorer on the Knicks right now. If we're not counting Randall, Obi Toppin is probably the best scorer on the Knicks on the Knicks team right now. So can't get mad at it. He is a 3-point threat. I think he shot 2.5 threes at a 42% clip, really high for him. You would like to see that there's a bit more volume on that jump shot, but it really isn't. Also, guys, a big lob threat. He puts a lot of pressure on the rim. You would just really hope, that Obi Toppin, manages to figure out the defensive end. Hopefully, Tom Thibodeau yells at him enough for it all to click in. You'd hope that Kenny Payne could do a lot more work with him and improve his footwork as well as his post game, and to fully, develop him. He's 22 years old right now. It's a bit scary, but at the same time, let's go, man. Obi, I can't be too mad at it. It is a scoring presence that the Knicks desperately needs, and it is someone that is an exciting player. I'm excited to watch him and RJ play together. I'm excited to see what him and Mitch could do as lob and vertical lob threats on the team. You would just hope that they were to get a stable point guard. That's what all the Knicks fans are hoping, just a stable point guard to run the helm for them. That's all we could really hope for as Knicks fans, can't we? He does have a lot of potential. I would say that the guys that have the possibility of becoming a Rookie of the Year would definitely be, it would be between a Killian Hayes, a LaMelo Ball, because LaMelo Ball is going to get the keys to the offense, and an Obi Toppin, if I'm being honest. So we just have to see. I could definitely see him being a first-team All-Rookie, though, hopefully. Fingers crossed, man. Next, we have Deni Avdija going to the Wizards. Deni Avdija, I think he's a jack of all trades. He's good at everything, but he doesn't have one real standout thing that he's like superbly good at. He's not really a good shooter either. He's not a good free throw shooter. So there is a lot of questions when it comes to Deni Avdija's actual jump shot. But other than that, I think the Wizards getting him, this is a good pick for them. Can't really get too mad at it. You have someone that can actually run the wing for them, and I'm expecting there to be a John Wall, a Bradley Beal, Deni Avdija, even though I think his true spot is the 4, and then you would get, I'm forgetting the name of the guy that is the lights out shooter for them. If they do re-sign him, I forgot his name though. He was on the Spurs before. Man, that's what happens, man. I'm up too late, man. I need some coffee. But next up, we have seeing Smith. Am I really losing it, man? See Smith to the Suns. Shit, who is this guy? Hold on a second. I'm kind of losing it. So I need some coffee, man. Let me do my Google searching. Oh yeah, it's Jalen Smith, man. My bad, guys. Jalen Smith going to the Suns. Jalen Smith is a guy who can definitely space out the floor for them. Having him next to a shit, I'm really forgetting names right now. Having him next to DeAndre Ayton would be really good for them. A guy that could space out the floor, who can also play some defense. Switchability is questionable, but he's an actual defensive presence that you can put next to Ayton, because Ayton is kind of poop at defense if we're keeping it a buck right now. Although he is a rim protector, but you just have to see what they would do with him. As of right now, I don't really know who they have running the four for them since they got rid of Kelly Oubre. Well, they got Cameron Johnson, but I guess he's probably going to be a bench shooter for them. Who knows what they're really going to do with him? Because I believe that they prefer to have Cameron Johnson as their starting four, but Jalen Smith isn't bad. A lot higher than I was expecting him to go, but he's not a bad player at all. Just forgettable one. All right, so the Spurs, we have Devin Vassell. Devin Vassell going to the Spurs is good. Devin Vassell's a good shooter, good defender. I thought he was one of the safer picks in the entire draft. And there's just a lot of hope for his developmental process with the Spurs. They got the right staff in there, and they're really gonna, try to push him as far as he could go. You would hope that his shot creation takes a lot more strides being with the Spurs. You would just really hope so. That he puts on a little bit more weight and that he could put more pressure on the rim. So that's all you could really hope for when it comes to Vassell, but a really good defender. There is a bit of a logjam when it comes to their wings, as they do have Keldon Johnson. They got him. There's just a lot of guys at that wing spot for them. So it's a bit confusing to see who's actually gonna, if he's really gonna get minutes like that. And you got DeMar DeRozan still there taking up spots. There's just a lot of wing guys that they have as they just have a lot of wings on this team. But you just gotta hope that he finds a way to push through. And the Sacramento Kings get Tyrese Haliburton. Tyrese Haliburton is a guy that I'm extremely low on in this draft, but I think playing alongside De'Aaron Fox would be good for him. Hallie he cannot create his own shot. He does not have any burst or any explosion. Does not have any tween combos whatsoever in his bag. Just a very just like rudimentary like ball like handler. Just very just like has no shake to his game whatsoever. He is a decent spot up shooter, but other than that, he's no create. There's no creation off the dribble. There's no pull up game to him. Just a guy that I'm not really high on, period, man. But I think he is a good secondary, playmaker. You don't know if they're gonna try to run Hallie off the bench. I think if you put Hallie on the bench and you make him a rotation player, he'll be the glue piece that you would need for your team. A guy who makes the right plays, smart, could spot up, shoot. Could play, some team defense, even though I think his physique doesn't allow him to fully be capable of playing, extended periods of time on defense. We're playing 1v1 defense, but we just got to see when it comes to him. Next, we have Kyra Lewis going to the Pelicans. Kyra, good player, man. He has a lot of the skills that you would like in terms of the speed, his ability to play in the fast break, which would be really good with this team because they have Lonzo, they got Zion, they got guys who are runners here, man. So him being in the fast break with Zion would just be fucking amazing to see, honestly. But his creation's a bit limited. Offensively, he's got more of a game than Zoe right now, if I'm keeping it honest, because he could at least put a bit more pressure on the rim than Zoe can. He could at least hit some free throws, which Zoe cannot do. And we just got to see, man. I don't know if they're going to be grooming this guy to see if he could take over for the future. They're probably just going to run him off the bench for now. But Kyra Lewis is a really good player. I didn't see him falling this low. I expected the Suns to go after him, but after the Suns traded for Chris Paul, it would make sense as to why they don't need him. But I still think it would have been smart for them to, kind of groom him for the future, because Chris Paul only's got he's only got so much more time on that Suns team, man. He's got 2 years there. Okay, and lastly we have Neesmith going to the Celtics. Neesmith, he's a good shooter. There's not really much to his game besides his shooting. I know that he's working on his creation ability. But still, you see, I think that's Jemias Ramsey up there. Yeah, Jemias Ramsey's a baller. But yeah, there really isn't too much to Neesmith's creation abilities. Just he's a guy that he'll hit a nice pump fake on you, then he'll pull up for three. Like that's the extent of his creation. He doesn't really have that much of a ability to put the ball on the floor, make a move, and then shoot or shoot off the dribble. Just don't really see too much of that in his game. But I don't think he really needs that to be on the Celtics because he's not going to be looked at as a creator. You have Jason Tatum there. You have Jaylen Brown. You have Kemba there. You have guys that could get you the buckets. You could just see him coming on and just, hitting the shots and doing what he has to do to, just be his, just to play a role. That's really what he's going to do there is just to be a shooter. And if you get anything out of him more, then hey, that's great, But for the most part, just don't really see him doing much of anything besides really shooting and running off picks and doing what he has to do to make these Celtics win more games, man. Fuck the Celtics, bro. But honestly, a lot of negativity from me and this towards other teams. But honestly, I think this is a good draft, man. It was interesting. I think Patrick Williams going fourth is what really changed everything. As soon as he went fourth, I was just like, whoa, things are not going to be how I expected them to be. And things kind of things kind of fell out of place. But for the most part, this is an interesting draft, man. If you guys really like this, I could sit down and I could break down just the entire first round, and I could go with the last 16 picks. If you would like me to go over the second round as well, could do that. Just more draft content coming. I'm sorry if I'm a bit lackadaisical right now, man. I'm tired, bro. I've been up all day, been working. There's 2 videos in one day from your boy Kev. Probably going to be releasing this tomorrow after the draft happens. Hopefully there's more trades this weekend. I think me and Chris are going to link up, and we're going to talk some trades and really get this basketball show on the road, man. This is what I've been hoping for. This is what I've been wishing for. I know that I talk music. I talk relationships. I talk everything, but I really got a pocket when it comes to this basketball shit. I know my stuff, man, whether it be the draft, whether it be trades. I know it, man. So, hey, just tap in with me. Continue to show me like, show love. I know we did a couple. We did pretty decent on the last video that I posted. So, hey, man, just keep showing love. It's Kev, man, signing out, man. It's been a long night, man. Been a long night, but I'm happy with my Knicks picks, though. Peace.